In the winter of 1959, 9 young hikers set off into the frozen Ural Mountains of Soviet Russia. They were strong, experienced mountaineers, trained at a top Soviet school, aiming for a tough ski trek, led by a 23-year-old named Igor Dyatlov. For them, this 300-kilometer trek was supposed to be a challenging adventure to gain the status of elite hikers. But instead, it became one of the most chilling mysteries in modern history. At first, nothing seemed unusual. The group kept diaries, took photos, and even joked along the way on 1,700 meters high icy slope. They were trekking through snowstorms, setting up tents, and making steady progress. But in early February, all communication stopped. Days passed, then weeks. When they failed to return, a rescue mission was launched. What the search teams found shocked them to the core. On February 26th, the rescuers discovered the group's tent, but it wasn't upright. It was half collapsed, buried in snow. And here's the strangest part. The tent had been slashed open from the inside. Clothes, boots, and food were left behind, as if the hikers had fled in pure panic. Tracks in the snow revealed something odd. Bare footprints leading away from the tent. In -30 degrees, without shoes, coats, or protection. Something had terrified them so much they ran into the freezing night, unprepared. Not far from the tent, 2 bodies were found near a small campfire. They were barefoot, dressed only in underwear. Their hands were burned, as if they had tried to warm themselves with fire. 3 more hikers were discovered between the tent and the forest, as if they were desperately trying to crawl back. But the last 4 bodies raised the most disturbing questions. They were found months later, buried under snow in a ravine, and their injuries were not what anyone expected. One had a fractured skull so severe it was compared to a car crash. 2 others had broken ribs with massive internal bleeding. Another was missing her tongue, eyes, and even parts of her face. Yet, strangely, there were no signs of struggle. No cuts, no wounds, nothing that looked like an attack. It was as if some overwhelming force had crushed them. So, what really happened that night? The official Soviet investigation gave no clear answers. At first, it concluded that the hikers died from a compelling natural force. But what kind of force? That's where the theories began. Theory 1, the avalanche. Some believe a small avalanche struck the tent, forcing the group to cut it open and flee. But rescuers reported no real signs of avalanche debris, and the slope wasn't steep enough for one. Theory 2, military testing. The Ural Mountains were used for secret Soviet weapons experiments. Could the hikers have witnessed something they weren't supposed to? Some locals reported seeing glowing orbs of light in the sky that night. Radioactive traces were even found on some of the clothing. Coincidence or cover-up? Theory 3, infrasound. Some scientists suggest rare wind patterns in the mountains can create low-frequency sound waves. These waves can cause panic, dizziness, and even hallucinations. Could this explain why the hikers fled without clothes, or why they seemed so disoriented? Or Theory 4, the Yeti or UFO. Yes, even supernatural explanations entered the discussion. Mysterious photos taken by the hikers show blurry lights in the sky. Others claimed strange footprints were found in the snow, but no solid evidence has ever been proven. In 2019, Russian authorities reopened the case. Their new conclusion? An avalanche after all. But many experts remain unconvinced. The injuries, the missing body parts, and the way the group behaved still don't fully add up. More than 60 years later, the Dyatlov Pass Incident remains unsolved.